Just when Bella thinks she's found true love, her father shows up at the diner with shocking news that could tear her away from everything she's built in her new life. Heartbroken but resolute, Bella knows she must make a painful choice, one that might mean saying goodbye to Liam forever. As she steps back into her old world, her mind can't let go of the man who loved her for who she was, not for her name or wealth. Months later, at a lavish gala, Bella spots a familiar face across the crowded ballroom. What she discovers next will turn her world upside down and leave her questioning everything she thought she knew about love and loyalty. But before we dive in, leave a comment and let us know where you are watching from today. And if this story speaks to you, hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories. The grand ballroom of the Kingsley mansion was packed with guests, all decked out in luxurious designer wear. Crystal chandeliers gleamed, reflecting off every polished surface, casting a glow that matched the wealth and prestige of the Holloway family. But amidst the glamour, a young woman stood alone near the entrance, her gaze distant and thoughtful. This was Isabella Holloway. She was the only daughter of billionaire business tycoon Charles Holloway, who owned several multinational companies and held a net worth that could rival small countries. Isabella had always been the picture-perfect image of wealth and privilege, adored by the media and idolized by millions. But beneath her designer clothes and immaculate appearance, Isabella yearned for something that no amount of money could buy: genuine love. Isabella, in her early 20s, had been in and out of relationships with men who were more interested in her family's wealth than in her personality. She was tired of being treated like a trophy, of always wondering if her wealth was the reason someone wanted to be with her. So, she made a drastic decision. One evening, after yet another failed date with someone she'd caught whispering about her father's money, she confided in her childhood friend, Emma. "I'm done, Emma," she said, shaking her head, frustration evident in her voice. "I just want someone to love me for me." Emma raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "So, what are you going to do about it?" Isabella took a deep breath. "I have an idea. I want to go undercover, live a simpler life, work as a waitress, and see if I can find someone who loves me for who I am, not my wealth or last name." Emma's eyes widened. "You're serious, aren't you?" With a firm nod, Isabella smiled. "Absolutely." Emma gave her a thoughtful look, her expression softening. "You know this won't be easy, right? People might treat you differently. You'll see a side of life you've probably never experienced." Isabella shrugged. "That's exactly what I need. I want to experience life like a normal person. I want to see who I am without all this." She gestured to the extravagant surroundings, the opulence that had defined her existence. A week later, Isabella had transformed. Gone were the designer dresses, the expensive jewelry, and the luxury makeup. She dyed her usually perfect blonde hair to a plain brown, threw on some thrift store clothes, and took up a new name, Bella Green. She managed to get a job at a cozy little diner called Sonny's Café, located in a less glamorous part of town. It was the type of place where locals gathered, and tourists rarely wandered. Her father, initially hesitant and confused, eventually relented, agreeing to let her take this break, on the condition that no one would know her true identity, not even the staff at the café. For Isabella, now Bella, life at the diner was nothing short of a revelation. She worked long hours, dealt with rude customers, and received wages she'd never even bothered to imagine. But amidst the hustle and the sweat, she felt something she hadn't in a long time: freedom. She relished the simplicity of her new routine. No chauffeurs, no socialites, no prying paparazzi. Just her co-workers, and the customers she met each day. She loved hearing the stories of the locals, their day-to-day struggles and triumphs, and the genuine warmth of small-town life. Every evening, she would return to her modest apartment, exhausted but fulfilled, feeling a newfound sense of purpose. And soon, she met someone. It was a particularly busy afternoon at Sonny's Café. Bella was rushing from table to table, balancing trays of food, when she accidentally bumped into a customer. "Oh, I'm so sorry," she apologized, looking up and meeting the warm brown eyes of a young man with a disarming smile. "It's all right," he replied, chuckling softly. "No harm done." His name was Liam Carter. He was tall, with a lean frame and an easygoing charm that put people around him at ease. A regular at the café, he worked as a mechanic at a nearby auto shop and often stopped by for a quick meal after work. Unlike the men Isabella usually met, Liam's clothes were simple, and his hands bore the telltale signs of hard work. He seemed genuine, humble, and grounded, qualities Isabella found refreshing and incredibly attractive. Over the next few weeks, Bella and Liam grew closer. They'd share conversations during her breaks, laughing about everything from life's quirks to the oddballs they encountered in their daily routines. She marveled at his kindness, his patience, and the way he treated everyone around him with respect. One evening, as they shared a slice of pie after Bella's shift, Liam finally asked, "So, Bella, I've been meaning to ask, what brought you to this town? You don't exactly seem like someone who grew up here." Bella hesitated. She had to be careful with her words. I wanted a fresh start, to be honest. I needed to get away from a life that wasn't making me happy. Liam nodded, understanding in his gaze. I get that. Sometimes, you just need to break away to find yourself. He offered her a soft smile. Whatever your reasons, I'm glad you came here. Bella felt her cheeks warm, and she realized her feelings for Liam were growing stronger each day. She loved how genuine he was, how he made her feel seen and valued, not as a billionaire's daughter but as a person. As the weeks went by, Bella and Liam's friendship blossomed into something deeper. They spent more time together outside of her shifts, going on simple dates like walks in the park, stargazing, or sharing meals at hole-in-the-wall diners. With Liam, Bella felt more alive than ever. She felt she could be herself without any pretense, without the burden of her family name. One night, as they sat on a park bench under a starlit sky, Liam turned to her, his gaze intense yet tender. "Bella, I care about you. A lot. I know we come from different worlds, but I want you to know that you're special to me." Bella's heart raced as she looked into his earnest eyes. "I feel the same way, Liam. You make me feel like I'm finally free to be myself." They shared a gentle, heartfelt kiss under the stars, sealing their blossoming love with a quiet promise of something deeper. Just as Bella thought she'd finally found the love she was looking for, things took a turn. Liam had confided in her about his dreams. He wanted to open his own auto shop but was struggling to save up for it. She ached to help him but knew she couldn't reveal her true identity. Doing so could ruin everything. One evening, however, as she was closing up the diner, Bella noticed a familiar figure waiting outside, her father. "Dad, what are you doing here?" she whispered, horrified that someone might recognize him. "I needed to check on you," he replied, looking around disdainfully. "And I have news. You'll want to sit down for this." In a secluded corner, her father revealed the shocking news. Their family company was being threatened by a hostile takeover. Without thinking, Bella insisted she'd come back and do what she could to help. But that meant she'd have to leave her simple life, her job, and Liam. With a heavy heart, Bella knew what she had to do. The next day, Bella met Liam at their usual spot, determined to break things off. "I have to leave town," she said, her voice barely holding steady. "It's family issues. I can't explain, but it's urgent." Liam looked devastated, confusion and hurt etched on his face. "Bella, can't you stay?" "I don't understand." Tears welled up in her eyes as she whispered, "I'm sorry, Liam. This is goodbye." And with that, she walked away, leaving behind the first man who had ever loved her for who she was, or so she thought. Back in her father's world, Isabella quickly dove into the business, using her influence to stop the takeover. But her mind constantly drifted back to the little café, to Liam, and the life she had left behind 3 months later. Her father invited her to a charity gala. She reluctantly agreed, knowing that her heart was still healing. As she entered the grand ballroom, a familiar figure caught her eye. It was Liam, but he looked different, confident, powerful, and wealthy. Stunned, Isabella made her way over. "Liam?" she asked, heart pounding. He grinned. "Or should I say, Ms. Holloway?" Her mind raced. How did he know? As if reading her thoughts, he explained, "I did some digging after you left. Turns out, you're not the only one who has secrets. My family owns Carter Enterprises, one of the largest automotive companies in the country." Isabella's jaw dropped. "So, all this time, you knew?" He laughed softly, nodding. "I had my suspicions. But I didn't care who you were or what you had. I just knew I loved the woman I met at Sunny's cafe. And in that moment, Isabella realized that true love doesn't care about wealth or status. It only sees the heart.